Welcome to our application project of the value creation wheel. As you can see, we've been working together with the Hanseatic Tech Company to find a solution for how they can acquire new customers from outside their network. The Hanseatic Tech Company is a very young company, founded less than a year ago. It's a software agency focusing on the medical technical sector, and right now they're acquiring customers, or their clients are mainly from outside their network in the given industry. In the past couple of months, we've been working together with them and found that they have the challenge about how to acquire new customers from outside their network, as they would like to scale the business and eventually not rely on their network anymore. Our solution is to not only offer web development, to build a website, but also to offer complementary web apps. This way, the Hanseatic Tech Company can also offer the client a unique selling point over their competitors, and in the same sense, Hanseatic Tech Company has their own unique selling point for them. What do we mean with complementary web apps? It's basically something that the customer can integrate into their website, which makes them different from their competitors, but also where customers can use this web app to understand their business better and to also integrate this into the entire business model. Just one example, in the medical technical sector, the product portfolio is generally very, very broad and difficult to understand or to differentiate the products. Therefore, our suggestion would be to offer not only a nice looking website, but also, for example, a product picker where the client can simply go through, select what they need, and eventually get a recommendation for one or two products. I've been talking about us. As you can see, these are the 4 students having been working on this project over the past couple of months in context of the course Innovation and Value Creation Wheel. And I've been talking about the Hanseatic Tech Company, so let me give you a better overview over the company, but also of the market. And basically, as I mentioned before, they're focusing on software development. Right now, they're very, very focused on web development, so websites, building websites, but also improving existing websites. However, the company would also like to elevate this and expand their service offering for apps, more sophisticated softwares. So really going into more sophisticated software development, as the founders are very, very innovative, and they like to build complex solutions in that sense. The market, however, is very, very competitive, and since there are a lot of agencies, and also the clients are kind of conservative, so they might be reluctant to join a very new or very young company who might not have that much of track record compared to their competition. Again, to find a solution for the Hanseatic Tech Company, we have applied the value creation wheel as defined here on the slide, but also in the next phases. We've applied the 5 phases, and I'd suggest let's jump right in. So in phase 1, we basically defined the challenge, defined the entire environment that the company is working in, and as you can see, the company is very flexible as it's so small and it has a lot of competence in building products and software products. They're very flexible to actually meet the customers' needs. The customers, they're actually in the medical technical sector, but also in a broader sense, also German small medium enterprises who need a new website. You can see when you go on websites that they are very old looking or outdated, and therefore those customers have usually a lot of cash in their bank account, and they use that to improve their website. The competitors As I mentioned before, it's a very competitive industry as there are a lot of agencies, but also there are a lot of web applications, so where you can just build a website yourself. So it's called Website Builder, and the company uses freelancers as collaborators that they work together with to cover the workload of projects that they have. The climate, of course, the customers tend to be one-time customers, since the website does not need to have rework over and over again and again. Therefore, it is a tough business to operate in. As mentioned before, the company and the founders have high technical knowledge, and they deliver very high quality service in a fast manner. Again, as mentioned before, they work together with freelancers, so they can adapt to changing demand, which is actually growing, moving to the opportunity. So there's growing demand, and you can actually offer service product or software products to specific niches, and especially you can cross-sell new services to existing customers. So when a customer came to you for a website, you can retarget them for a greater demand in software products or software services the company also needs for themselves, and therefore you have the opportunities to actually retarget those customers. On the other hand, as of now, as it's a very young company and also a bootstrap company, there's limited availability of money, lack of a brand awareness in the market, as mentioned before, especially in a saturated market, and it is very hard to acquire customers for long-term projects, which the company actually aims to do, since that way you don't need to reacquire new customers over and over again, but actually you have some larger projects that need more intense work, but also cover the expenses, so they can work on business building as well. The major threats are basically very established players in the market, so those will have a strong network of existing clients who will approach them over and over again. There are low entry barriers for new entrants joining the industry, so the competition is likely to increase, and there are already present website builders, so either you can, in a drag and drop manner, or also with help of artificial intelligence, build your own website without hiring an agency. Therefore, it is very easy for businesses, for especially smaller businesses who don't need a very sophisticated website, to build the website themselves. On the other hand, when we look at the TAUS analysis, you can see that since they have their technical experience and the demand is growing, they can use this unique thinking, the innovative thinking, but also the ability to adapt fast to meet the growing demand, and kind of create a unique selling point for themselves to find ground in this very saturated competitive landscape. In the lower left, we can see that they can use this strengths to actually overcome their threats. So due to this exceptional knowledge or technological expertise, the company can actually offer their customers newest trends. For example, artificial intelligence, generative AI. They have been working on this before, and they can adapt to this quickly and can offer those services fast, and therefore can overcome the competition and also the growing competition that is coming in the future or emerging in the future. On the other hand, to overcome the main weakness of not having a reputation in the competitive market, as you can see on the right upper side, it is very important to use the network first, which they are doing right now, to find ground in a niche, and then grow out of this niche to find or acquire customers organically. Within the entire project, our KDM, Michel from the Hanseatic Tech Company, the managing director of the Hanseatic Tech Company, told us that during the entire process, after we've asked, they really focused on medical technical sector and therefore find this as their niche. On the lower right hand side, you can see that we suggest that the company should focus on building strategic alliances with other agencies offering different services, so not software development, but for example marketing, to kind of build an alliance to cross-sell their companies, their offerings, and also to really offer their clients a very holistic offering in terms of services to really outplay the competition and the established players in the market. When looking at the passive factors, we can see that in terms of political factors, they don't have a lot of limitations, but also not a lot of opportunities. The economy right now is in a drawback, and therefore companies hesitate to invest, which makes the entry at this point of time very difficult. Customers and clients, not only from them, but from their clients, like to understand the products they offer and also like to have a very visible brand image, wherefore the demand, as mentioned before, is growing for a very good and sophisticated website, as you can also see in the technological field. So the website is become more and more sophisticated. The technology behind it becomes more and more sophisticated. There's artificial intelligence. There are offerings where customers want to kind of look and feel of the products, even though it's maybe not a software product, but they want to kind of get a feeling of this from home. So there's a lot of change going on here. In terms of environment, of course, there's a lot of movement in the environmental sector, but in terms of this company, we kind of neglect this discussion. And in terms of legal factors, there's a lot of discussion about GDPR, so data protection laws. However, since the company is building merely websites and is not doing or is not dealing with personal information, this is actually also a very minor factor. In terms of Portis forces, the suppliers and the suppliers have no bargaining power because there is none, or there are no suppliers of them, so they code everything themselves. The buyers actually have moderate bargaining power because they can simply switch to another provider, another agency, where you can also see that the competition or the competitive rivalry is very high. The threat of new entrants is very, very high. However, the complementary or the threats of substitutes, is not that high because every business needs a website at some point to actually build a brand and to be visible online. Therefore, after conducting also interviews with the KDM, we found out that the challenge is that how the Hanseatic Tech Company can actually acquire new customers from outside their network. As you can see, since it's a very young company, they do have the manpower, since they're also working together with the freelancers. They also do have the minute, they do have the time. All of them are still at university, but they're prioritizing the business above it. They have the time, however, the money is the constraint right now. The good thing in this context is that they don't need a lot of money to start. However, in terms of marketing and of reaching customers, this is a constraint which will also become evident later on when we apply the value creation funnel as one of the criteria. We've defined several objects for this project or for the outcome. Basically, in the short term and within 1 month, the company shall develop a plan for organic growth. In the midterm, they should have the plan defined, have it laid out, have it integrated in the company, and then have a first larger long-term project actually. While in the short term they acquire first customer from organic growth, so not from within their network. And in the long term, actually we aim to have 3 larger projects to actually finance the operations, finance the expenses, so the founders can focus on business development. And in terms of the KPIs, we have defined short-term company-related KPIs for the project. So the KDM shall be engaged in all the needed phases. We want to have one clear final recommendation, and we want to have the commitment from the company to actually implement the final recommendation. In the long term, we defined 4 KPIs to actually track the performance of the recommendation. It's an increasing percent of organic customers. It's a customer acquisition cost below 500 euros, and an increasing conversion rate of all the activities, and an average price per project, or a ticket price basically, is between 10 and 15,000 euros. For the team-related objectives that we as a team for this project have is basically that we meet all our internal deadlines, we meet all the course deadlines, and we have an even workload per member, so everybody is participating as intended. But now let's move on to phase 2.
Okay, let's move on with phase number 2, the increase part. So, we had a 3-step approach to generate the ideas, the filters, and then decide which ideas we actually wanted to use. We started with the idea generation, and there we used primary and secondary research. And then afterwards we also came up with different filters. And then to finalize the ideas and the filters, we applied the polka method and then talked to our KDM on which ideas we should actually use. To have multiple sources of idea generation, we concentrated on using primary and secondary research. So starting with the primary research, we did first of all as a group brainwriting, and then we also conducted an interview with an expert in the medical field to get more ideas on what the customer is actually looking for. Last, we also had a long interview with our KDM to ensure that we understand his goals and the industry from their perspective really good. Then we also included secondary research, which means that we looked at research papers, at different databases, and also competitor websites to be able and ensure that we're generating the most ideas. Starting with brainwriting. As a group, we all sat together and wanted to answer the question on how the Hanseatic Tech Company can actually generate new customers. We then all wrote down our ideas individually and passed our papers, and afterwards discussed the ideas that we generated. After that, we were able to cluster our ideas into 3 categories. The first idea category is marketing. So the Hanseatic Tech Company can promote their website development and utilize different forms of advertising like social media. Also, as they are right at the beginning of their company and not only able to create websites but other things like app development, we thought that the company can establish a clearer target market and clarify the value proposition to target the right customers right from the beginning. Last, we wanted to enhance the market research, so researching what competitors are doing and be able to create a unique value proposition that differentiates the company from others. During our expert interview with Maren, we were able to generate more ideas from the customer side and see what they are actually looking for. The interview lasted for around 30 minutes and we asked several questions. And what is crucial here is that she confirmed that web development is important to them, but it's not just web development, but more. So they are also looking for things like app development and having a nice combination of both things. It is most important that their customers are having a great customer experience when they are on their website and can easily find everything. So lots of medium-sized companies are actually willing to put in the money to have a nice website. But key is here that these websites are personalized on their specific needs. So these tailored solutions could actually be a key for the Hanseatic Tech Company to differentiate themselves from others. In the secondary research, we looked at competitors and analyzed what they are currently doing in the market. In general, there are several competitors who are creating websites, so the Hanseatic Tech Company needs to create a USP that not everyone can offer. We looked at Wix and Duda, which are known for easy creating new websites and doing it as a self-service. Both companies are doing it on a subscription basis, but they are missing personalized solutions. Bright Solution is a competitor that focuses on individualized solutions, but has a broad target customer. We realized with our KDM that a narrow target customer for personalized solutions could be a good point to start and actually generate new customers. The Hanseatic Tech Company wants to focus on small, medium enterprises that have no knowledge about web development but are in the need for personalized websites. After generating ideas in different fields, so primary and secondary research, we created a total of 14 ideas in 3 categories, which are direct marketing, relationship building, and digital marketing. After generating all the ideas, we then sat down and came up with possible filters, also using the brainwriting method. Here we came up with a total of 13 possible filters to use. We then used the poker method by also working together with our KDM to see which ideas and filters we should kill, so exclude. Then we reviewed all the ideas and partially redefined them by going more into detail to get to the point of which ideas and filters to keep. We finally had 13 ideas and 7 filters purified. Now, let's continue with phase 3. After the poker method, these are our 13 final ideas. We killed off the idea of influencer marketing because our KDM said that this is not reasonable. Also, he mentioned that some ideas we are having, they are already working on actually including them. Finally, after approving all the filters with our KDM, he helped us to sort them and rank them into the must-have filters and the nice-to-have filters. So we have 4 must-to-have filters, which are costs, the time horizon, the feasibility and the branding, and nice-to-have filters, which we included afterwards, is specific to the target customer segment, then the imitability by competitors, and the expected conversion rate.
Now we will be moving on to phase 4 of the value creation wheel, which is the narrow phase. In this phase, we will be putting the ideas that we've generated against different filters in order to narrow down our ideas to the best ones. The first part of phase 4 is the purification of concepts. And so we identified different filters that we were going to put our ideas against, and then we also identified the thresholds for each filter with our KDM. So the first filter are costs, which are the most crucial factor for filtering our ideas, and the implementation costs we decided should be less than 1,000 euros. The second filter is time horizon. We need to generate new customers quickly, and so the ideas must be quick to implement, and so the time horizon we landed on was less than 2 months. For the third filter, feasibility, to generate contacts, they should be easy or technically feasible, and so our KDM will evaluate each idea's feasibility. For the fourth filter, it's branding, and in order to build a lasting USP against competition, the KDM will evaluate the idea's innovation and uniqueness. The fifth filter is whether the idea is specific to target customer segment, and our target customer segment is the medical technology industry. Our sixth filter is imitability, and in order to ensure a lasting USP, an idea that is hard to imitate would be ideal, so that would be the threshold. And then our seventh filter is customer acquisition costs, and we need to keep the acquisition costs low to be profitable, so we decided on less than 500 for that threshold. And in the next steps, these filters and thresholds were used to filter out the best ideas using various methods. Okay, so now that we have identified the different filters and the thresholds, we will now be using the value creation funnel method in order to filter our 13 ideas against our must-have filters, which was cost, time horizon, feasibility, and branding. And after filtering these ideas against each threshold for these specific filters, it resulted in 7 remaining ideas, which were target customer definition, improving own website, Hamburg focus, sponsorships, web development, website configuration, and website audits. So this is kind of a graphic of the process that we went through in order to cut down our ideas with the must-have filters. So as you can see on the left, we have all of our ideas, and then on the top we have the 4 different must-have filters. And then we went through each idea and checked whether they would pass through the threshold, starting from the first filter onto the last. And as you can see, once the ideas didn't pass through the threshold, we would stop and cut that idea out. And so, for instance, sponsoring exhibitions was cut at costs because the costs were not below our specific threshold. Other ideas, such as investors of customers, was cut at another filter. And then, as you can see, the ones remaining were the ones that were not cut at any of the filters. So after doing the value creation funnel, we now come to the MCDA, and a similar process is shown here. So this is where the process we use in order to cut down ideas against our nice to have filters, and each nice to have filter had a specific weight to them, as previously mentioned. And so the way we did this was we calculated the attractiveness with the weights at the end of the process. And if the idea did not pass the thresholds, we would not let them pass that specific filter, but they might pass further filters, such as passing customers acquisition costs but not passing imitability. And in the end, all of the weights were added up in order to identify the attractiveness of each idea. And as you can see, in the end, we landed with one idea that passed all of the filters and had the most attractiveness at the end, which is website development. And so that is the idea that we went with. So now we are coming on to the next part of phase 4, which is concept and value proposition. And this is a slide defining what our idea is for Hanseatic Tech Company to implement, which is to provide complementary web apps. And complementary web apps are software solutions designed to enhance the functionality of a primary website. And within the medical industry, these can range from electronic health record systems, practice management software, telemedicine platforms, medical record management systems, medical billing and revenue cycle management, and medical packaging product finder, which is the one that we went with for our prototype. So here we're showing how Hanseatic Tech Company can gain a competitive advantage within a already very competitive industry. And so this is a graphic showing Hanseatic Tech Company's value curve against competitors. The value curve shows that they can differentiate themselves against competitors by being innovative and providing high quality products because of the resources that they have, which are time and up-to-date software. So now we can define the Hanseatic Tech Company's unique value proposition and competitive advantage even further. So their value proposition is that they're committed to producing high-quality, cutting-edge website solutions tailored for the healthcare industry, crafting websites that transcend the ordinary by providing customized solutions and streamlined functionality. And so their competitive advantage lies within these 3 realms, providing premium quality, advanced technology, and personalization. So within premium quality, innovation and time allows for the delivery of premium quality products. For advanced technology, they have very advanced technological know-how, which allows them to use up-to-date software. And for personalization, they would produce web apps that are customized to fit the specific needs of the customers, which will differentiate them from their competitors. So now we have come to the final step of phase 4, which is prototyping. And for the prototype, we chose a website that has the qualities and USP that Hanseatic Tech Company would be providing for customers in terms of being customizable and tailored towards each consumer for a unique customer experience. So this is a company called Gerresheimer that produces medical packaging for the medical industry. And on this website, the customers start by navigating the website and exploring the product categories and using the search engine to find specific products that they're interested in. But what is unique about this website is that they have different questionnaires or selection process where you can choose specifically the material that you're looking for, what the usage is for, and what you don't want in the product, what you do want in the product, all these different categories the customer can pick. And then once you've gone through that process of picking your desires and what you don't want, the website itself will produce a result that is the product that you are looking for, which is really good for customers who don't specifically know what the best product is for their needs. And so so the website provides options for customization directly on the product page, and you can select even materials, colors, sizes, and features to meet the specific requirements of the customers. And for customers who want to make a purchase, they can do it directly on the website and choose whether they want it in bulk or in specific quantities. And this kind of unique customer experience is what Hanseatic Tech Company desires to provide for their consumers or customers.
All right, let's continue with phase 5, the ACT phase. First of all, let's have a brief overview of the 3 M's. In order to implement our recommendation, the Hanseatic Tech Company mainly needs to invest time. As you can see on the graph or on the graphic on the right hand side, we mainly need as a key resource, which is manpower and minute. The manpower attributes to one person only, which is probably going to be either our KDM or one of the co-founders, who have to invest, coming to minute, who have to invest 3 hours upfront and 30% of sales pitch preparation in order to deliver the USP to the potential customer in an acquisition pitch. As you can see, the monetary resources which are required are basically none. It's just about their time in order to develop the unique selling proposition. In order to implement that, the KDM needs to prepare a communication deck, which is integrated into the website by, for example, a one-pager that is illustrating the USP that differentiates the company from the competitors, which are also trying to acquire customers in the same customer segment as the Hanseatic Tech Company wants to target. So the USP is therefore delivered through the website and through a potential pitch deck, which is to be prepared in the coming months. We will come to a potential implementation plan and to the requirements further in the presentation. And the KDM for the pitch, in order to acquire the customers, needs to prepare possible solutions that can be implemented at the customer's website or app development. All right, now let's have a look at the key resources which are required in order to maintain and build the business model in the coming years. What we just talked about in the 3 M's is the requirements in order to implement our idea, to develop the USP which is used in the pitch decks and in the customer acquisition process of the Hanseatic Tech Company. Now what you can see here is the business model canvas for the following years after the implementation and the development of the USP, but also during the process. So what we can see in the key activities is it's really just about brand building and building an agency reputation in order to create a client base and to create a network that is going to make the startup successful in the coming years. It's basically generating USPs in order to differentiate from the competition. Then we have the key resources, which are again in the following years. Manpower, of course, they need full-time equivalents to develop the USP and integrate it into the customer acquisition process. Furthermore, they also need time to acquire the customers and to actually make the projects and build web and apps and to basically have a successful project in the end. The development tools, of course, are also needed, and also to develop the web and the app development projects, which is software such as Figma or Python and other programming softwares, which are required to develop the final product that is delivered to the customer. Now let's have a look at the value proposition overall. The Hanseatic Tech Company stands out from competitors since they have a tailored and a custom web and app development that is designed to fit the specific needs of the businesses. And especially when it comes to the projects, they are agile and responsive, and they adapt and to the specific requirements and have fast turnaround times. Moreover, they are very cost effective, especially compared to the competition, with no compromise on quality, and especially when, as previously discussed, comparing them to main competitors such as Wix and other web and app development builder sites. They are tailoring and demanding, having the specific needs in mind. So they are very customer centric and dedicated for support during and after the project. Now let's continue with the customer relations. It's of course crucial to have a skilled team with expert developers, designers and project managers, especially if projects become bigger and have a broader scale. They will of course need more people in order to develop that. Maybe they can also make use of freelancers in that case. For the tools, for the customer relations, they need latest software and frameworks, especially when it comes to communication. They need, for example, Microsoft Teams, Outlook, and all of the other Office tools in order to maintain their daily business. Then the strong partnerships is, of course, crucial in the tech industry. For example, alliances with tech providers, mentors, and industry experts will help in order to acquire even more customers than by just pitching their idea and their products. For example, regarding the costs, we estimated labor costs during the next years, salaries, and of course benefits for the developers, designers, and the project managers. Regarding the infrastructure, if the business goes well and the company is extending and growing, scaling up, they might need office space and rent, and also of course maintenance. Then again, the development tools also bring costs to them, which is licensing fees for the softwares and other tools. Then we of course have marketing and sales expenses, costs for marketing campaigns and promotional activities. The scalability of the solution, we estimated that in May, so this month, the pitch regarding the innovation and value creation wheel is going to be delivered to the KDM. After that, the KDM and his co-founders develop the USP, create a pitch deck in June, and then use the pitch deck in the customer acquisition process. Then in July, they should acquire a first organic customer for our first project. Now, let's have a look at 2 potential customers that could be acquired by the Hanseatic Tech Company. First of all, as we had in our expert interview, the PFM Medical Company, which is located near Cologne. They have little below 600 employees and a revenue of 130 million. The company in itself is a broad scope medical tech company with a lot of stock keeping units. So they have a lot of products serving a variety of product branches and sectors. For example, pacemakers, stents, and all of the other things you need in a hospital or a private clinic. So for example, regarding their current web and app development or their basically illustrative approach, they could actually enhance the user experience. So the Hanseatic Tech Company could support in enhancing the user experience on the website, revamp the website's design for a more intuitive and user-friendly experience. Then we also have the integration on mobile apps. So the app or the website of the company currently is not improved on mobile and is not capable or is not compatible on mobile devices. So that's what the Hanseatic Tech Company could deliver to the PFM Medical Company. For example, the USP here would rely in interactive features and engagement, elements like chatbots, virtual tours, or customer feedback sections to increase the user engagement. That's regarding the first customer profile, which the Hanseatic Tech Company could acquire. Then regarding the second company, Biolitech, is also a medtech located near Jena in Germany. They specialize on medical laser technology and develop lasers and fiber optics for minimally invasive procedures. They also have many different application areas. They have a revenue of 7.5 million and have a number of employees of around 160, so below 200. What the Hanseatic Tech Company could do for them is, again, modernizing the website's interactive elements. Here the USP could be streamlining the contact and support options, so implementing user-friendly contact forms and live chat features again to improve the customer support. Here again in the B2B sector, the customer could have an additional portal where they could log in and monitor their products and the devices they buy from the company. For example, the enhanced multimedia integration, such as videos and interactive graphics and illustrative elements, could be integrated as well. Then the main objectives of these 2 customers is also building agency reputation, so enhancing the network and making the scope of the company broader. Building the USP and standing out from competition, of course, is the overall objective. And then recover referrals and references is also crucial for a startup, so that they have references which they can relate back on. Now let's have a look at the short-term KPIs and objectives that have been met and the long-term KPIs that need to be monitored. First of all, we have company-related KPIs in the short term which have already been met. These are 3. As you can see, the KDM engagement in all of the needed phases was met. Then we have 1 final recommendation as an outcome of the entire project, which also has been accomplished. Then we have the commitment to implement the recommendation that is also promised by the KDM that our idea will be implemented and will be realized in the coming months. Then we have the company-related KPIs that should be monitored in the long term, which are 4. The first one is increasing the percentage of organic customers, which is one of the main requirements and main goals of the entire project. Then we have the other KPI which should be measuring the customer acquisition costs, and we set the KPI at below 500 euros per customer. Then we have the increasing conversion rate and the average of 10 to 15k as a reward for the project. So the costs for each project should be in the range of 10 to 15,000 so that it is profitable in the end. The team-related objectives, the KPIs which have been met, were the internal deadlines, which we all met, the course deadlines overall, and the even workload, the distribution among the team members, that we all worked a similar amount is met as well. So in order to keep track of the changes and the implementations in the coming year, we also developed an implementation roadmap for the next year, for 2025. So we developed the short-term scalability of our solution, but here we want to look at the broad scope, so the long-term view. First of all, we can have a look at the customers. So the Hanseatic Tech Company should acquire a first big project latest in Q2 2025. So a broad scope project which takes at least 4 to 6 months. Then they should have a look at the 2026 timeline and maybe acquire a new big customer and a project that takes a long time as well. As we currently plan with only Michael and his co-founders as employees, and the freelancers basically are optional, we are targeting 1 to 2 big projects per year. Then, of course, the product development should be continued, so new product and services should be launched within and while the process of scaling up the business model. The contract negotiations, of course, should be following, so having maybe long-term commitments of customers and distribution setup should be in scope as well. The e-commerce launch, so the Hanseatic Tech Company could develop a web shop with predetermined services that customers can choose upon, and they should have a campaign that markets their different products and services. They should design the store and have a user interface in order for customers to choose between the different services, and then launch that on the site in the end. The advertising activities are mainly split between attending fairs and creating basically online advertisement, e-commerce search, and DSP advertising. Then regarding the partnerships, they should, of course, throughout the entire process, basically utilize the new network in order to expand the business contacts. And regarding the network, they should furthermore expand and target more organic growth. Regarding the resources, of course, they should have a marketing budget in 2025 and 2024. That is targeting the companies. Here you can see a brief overview of the main deliverable. So basically a summary in the form of a DIN A1 poster, which summarizes the challenge, the company, the solution, and all of the 5 phases.